All right, welcome to lesson number 0. Let's call it that. This is a pre-lesson that I want everyone to go through before we start the course, because this is an overarching theme that is going to take the entire course, but I'm not actually going to do a specific week dedicated to it. And this is something that I know everyone watching this video needs help with, and this is the entire point of the entire course, and that is a big word: motivation, right? Everyone wants it. How do I get motivated? How do I stay motivated? This is all, of course, all about how to flip your motivation switch. That is exactly what I'm going to teach you. Understand, though, that this is an overarching theme throughout the entire 6 weeks, okay? So we are not going to spend 1 week on motivation. After this lesson, everything that we talk about inherently is meant to improve your levels of motivation, to make you take control of your motivation. So motivation is not something that you're seeking anymore. It's something that, like a light switch, you can turn on and turn off. All right? That's the goal for the entire course. This lesson on motivation is going to lay the foundations, and then each subsequent lesson each week is going to build on top of that. So, motivation. First thing you need to understand, right? When doing market research, when asking people, no matter what goals they're talking about, whether it's fitness, losing weight, starting a business, waking up early, reading more books, all of the things that people want to do, people want to accomplish, right? They always say they struggle with motivation. Everyone here taking this course has told me, I need to be more motivated. I want to be more motivated. I struggle with motivation. Understand that the fact that you're here right now watching this proves that you are motivated. You're motivated to make a change. People who aren't motivated are watching Netflix right now. They're scrolling on TikTok. They are not taking time out of their busy days to take a course, to watch a video, to learn how to better themselves. So congratulate yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. It's one of the first things that we have to understand. You are motivated. You think about this stuff. You want something better for your life. So you are motivated to change. This is a distinct switch that we need to understand, because as we are going to talk about in week 1 about self-talk and self-fulfilling prophecies, if I continue to tell myself I am not a motivated person, I will eventually become not motivated. If I think of myself as a motivated person, I will eventually be more motivated. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and we'll get into exactly why that is and the scientific and neurological reasonings behind that, and why it's actually true and not just me like making stuff up and blowing smoke. But just understand that I know you're motivated because you've gotten this far into the video. I know you're motivated because you paid me money to be here. That means that you're motivated. So you can't be here watching this video right now and say, I am not a motivated person. To get a better understanding of motivation, we first need to understand change as a whole. When we want to be motivated, it's because we want to change. But as I just said, the fact that you are even contemplating change proves that you are motivated to an extent. But realize change only happens by choice. I pose to you the thought that nothing great has ever happened because someone forced someone else to do it. No great piece of art has ever been made by force. No great person has ever accomplished anything momentous because someone else put a gun to their head and told them to act. People do great things because of what comes from within, right? And we all want great things for ourselves. We all want great things for our family. We all want to affect this world in a positive way. So that is in itself motivation. But realize this change only comes from within. I cannot force you to do it. Your spouse cannot force you to do it, just like you can't force anyone else to do it. In this course, over the course of the next 6 weeks, I will be giving you tactics, tips, I will be giving you guidance, but we have to realize that change comes from within always. So first, remember, you are motivated. Second, we need to remember that change starts inside of you, and no amount of force can force you to do it if you're not ready to change yourself. Change comes from within and when we are ready, but we also have to be willing to accept it as well as do the work for it. A story from my own life. For a long time, I worked at a gym as a personal trainer. I knew after a few years that I really wanted to work more on the mindset side of things. This is the stuff that I wanted to do, the stuff that I'm helping you with right now. Things like motivation and self-talk and building an environment and all the other stuff we're going to go over in this course. And I knew that because I knew that was what would really help people. But I didn't allow myself to do it because I kept thinking, these guys don't want that. They're fitness clients, they're nutrition clients. They came to me for this, they came to me for that. And because of that, when I would bring it up to them, that's the exact response that I would get. I would say, hey, let's talk about this. They'd be like, let's just work out. Hey, let's talk about that. Okay, just tell me what to eat, right? So again, I come back to this self-fulfilling prophecy of, because I wasn't ready for the change, I was boxing myself in, I could not allow the change to happen. Imagine a tree planted in a flower pot. That tree will never grow to its fullest extent, and it will die thinking that it's its own fault. But it was not the tree, it was the environment. So you have to be an environment physically, mentally, and around you where you can accept the growth. You can put in the work because, again, change comes from within, but you also have to be willing to accept the things that will change as you are changing and be ready to make the sacrifices that are needed, right? A tree can't grow in a flower pot. Your environment may be restricting you. So these are all things that we will talk about later in the course. Week 6, we dive deep into environment. But I just want to set this up because this is why I'm saying to you, a lot of times we think they're like, well, I'm not motivated. I just, I can't make an exercise routine that sticks. I'm not motivated. I can't seem to keep getting up at, 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, even though I know I want to. I can't do X, I can't do Y, I can't do Z. And this is not an excuse to take the onus off of ourselves, but maybe understand that we are not in the right environment. Maybe you're the tree in the flower pot and you need to think about yourself, yes, but also what's going on around you. That does not mean you lack motivation. That tree did not lack the motivation to grow. That tree was being strangled and it was not allowed to grow to its fullest extent. Just like that tree that couldn't grow, just like myself not being able to grow past just being a fitness guy or a nutrition guy, but thinking that that was what people wanted, right? Just like the tree couldn't grow outside of the pot, but thought it must just be me. Our brains will always backflip and do gymnastics and cartwheels to make us feel like we're doing the right thing. Cognitive dissonance is a concept that we're going to talk about as well throughout the course, but I need to lay this out from the beginning because you have to understand that when we're trying to change, when we're forcing discomfort, change on ourselves, changing our internal, changing our external, your brain is not going to like it. And it's going to tell you things like, this is dumb, this is stupid, why am I doing this? We wasted our money, let's just quit, who cares? I'm not getting anything out of this. I'm asking you right now to not give in. I'm telling you right now that these thoughts will come up because what we are doing is inherently uncomfortable. I need you to commit right now today, that's the whole point of this video, that you will stick through this to the end. Your brain will tell you to quit. I don't have time. I'm not learning that much. What I already did 2 weeks, what could I possibly learn in the next 4 weeks? It's going to give you a million reasons. Understand that this is your brain's defense mechanism against the discomfort. Your brain does not want you to be a loser. So When you get pushed up against discomfort and it wants to quit because of that discomfort, it's not going to tell you that. You don't want to, quitting because of discomfort, that's something that you can maybe figure out a way out of. But if your brain says, it's not because I'm uncomfortable, it's because this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. It's because I don't have time and there's other things in my busy schedule that I need to be prioritizing. It's because it's actually not that big of a deal that I make the change that I started this course for. It's because X, Y, and Z. Then you're like, oh, well, you know, and that's how quitting happens. So that is my point. You are motivated to change. You're here, you're watching this video, you've made it this far. The problem comes when change, which is inherently uncomfortable, pushes you up to your limits and you start to do these cartwheels and mental gymnastics about why quitting is okay. It's not that big of a deal. It's not this, it's not that. Understand, there is no failure. There is only quitting. This course is not graded. You are not passing or failing. You've paid your money. I want to help you, but you only pass, you only get everything out of it, you only succeed if you finish everything, if you do the work, if you do the hard thing. The only way you can fail is to quit. And that goes for this course, and that goes for life in general, and that goes for every goal you will ever set. Michael Jordan has a quote that I really love where he said, "I never lost a game, I just ran out of time." The clock would have kept going, he would have figured out a way to win. And that's what you have now. The clock does not end on your goals. The clock does not end on what we're doing here. This is a 6-week course, and I am giving you the foundations that you will need for the rest of your life. You are motivated to change. You have the motivation inside you already. That is not the issue. The issue is, can you keep going when things get hard? We need to understand that motivation is a feeling or an emotion. Just like happiness, just like sadness. It comes and it goes, and we don't have any control over it, just like we don't have control over those things. We don't have control over how happy we are, or how sad we are, or how hungry we are, because these are emotions that come from our brain and we don't have direct control over. However, just like I can have a bad day where I'm not at my happiest, but still be a happy person, you can have a day where you are not feeling like you want to get up and crush the world's goals, but still be a motivated person. And that's a key distinction that I want you to latch on to from here, right? Just because you are not feeling at the peak of motivation at any given day does not mean you are not a motivated person. Does not mean that you don't have any motivation. Again, I keep coming back to this. The fact that you're here, the fact that you're watching this, the fact that you're doing this course, there's a million things that show me that you are motivated. You have motivation inside of you. It waxes and it wanes. There's levels. Think of it as waves, right? There's tidal waves and then there's little, wave pool waves, but it's still coming. It's the tide keeps coming in. No matter how big or small the wave is, it never stops. And that's how motivation is. So we ride it when it's high, right? When you have that tidal wave, you grab the surfboard and you ride that wave hard. But when it's not there, you don't bemoan it. You do what you can do, and you keep riding until the next big wave comes. It's a very important thing, a distinction that we have to make here, because like I said before, if I am a motivated person, I will continue to be motivated. If I'm not a motivated person, I will find ways to not be motivated. If I understand, just like I said, I'm a happy person. I consider myself a very happy person. That does not mean I wake up every day beaming sunshine. There are days when I'm unhappy. There are times when I'm unhappy, but I am still overall a happy person. And that is instilled in me at my core, and that's why it drives me as who I am as a person. Same thing with motivation. I am a motivated person, even though I'm not always motivated to do the things I need to do. And there's a difference there. As we go through this course, it's natural that, as I just said, your motivation waxes and wanes, its highs and its lows, it's there and then it's not. I encourage you all to get good at your why. I've attached to this video a worksheet entitled The 5 Whys that I want you to fill out. And for more, you can go listen to my podcast episode entitled Start With Why, which I'll link in the notes here somewhere. I don't know. When we have no motivation, again, that does not mean I am not motivated, I'm just lacking the extreme levels of motivation that day. I'm riding a low wave. When those days come, and they always will come, that's when we need that deeper why. When I have that tidal wave of motivation, I'm going to do everything anyway, right? I'm riding high, I'm getting things done, I'm eating right, I'm exercising, I'm reading, I'm blah, 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 blah. That's great. It's what do we do when we're in the low tide of motivation? And for that, we have that deep why of there is challenge that's going to come. We need something that gives us a reason that makes the challenge worth it. So fill out that worksheet and listen to the podcast if you need more help on figuring out your why, because that's a big part in switching on your motivation switch. So to recap, you are motivated. Drill this into your head, okay? You have to make affirmations, Post-it notes on your bathroom mirror every morning. I am motivated. I am a motivated person. When you wake up in the morning, say it. When you go to sleep at night, say it. When you write in your journal, say it. The more the better. Drill it into your head until it becomes a part of you. I guarantee you, you will start to make decisions that a motivated person will make. Okay? Number 2. Environment. Your environment affects your motivation. So do not think that it's all your fault and that you're stuck in some sort of trap that you can't get out of, right? Jim Rohn famously said, you are the combination of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That's your environment. Denzel Washington said, if you hang out with 5 unproductive people, you're going to be the 6th. Your environment matters. The tree will not grow in the flower pot. All right, we're going to talk more about that. But just I want you to start to be mindful of these things. Start looking at, am I in an environment where I can grow? Am I in an environment where I can flourish? Am I in an environment that lets me take advantage of the high waves of motivation when they come in? Am I in an environment that pushes me off the top of the wave and tries to make me, float down there at the bottom at low tide of motivation time? All right, and that brings me to number 3. Motivation comes in waves, right? That does not mean that if you have a low wave, you are not motivated or you are not a motivated person. It means that you are having lower levels of motivation for that day, right? If I'm not hungry right now, I would not say that I'm never hungry, right? It's going to come eventually. If I'm upset right now, I'm not going to say I'm never happy. If I'm happy right now, I'm not going to say I'm never sad. These things do not work like that. We need to latch on when we can, ride those high waves and ride them till the end, but also understand that when those waves aren't there, that's not an excuse. We can't only wait for the waves. If you've ever been surfing before, I went surfing for the first time this summer, and I learned that you spend a lot more time paddling in the wake than you do actually surfing. In 2 hours of surfing, I might have caught 5 waves. Spent a lot of time just paddling out there. And if you think that it's okay to just wait for the wave, you're gonna have a long, hard journey when you're only waiting for that big motivation spurt. The reason I named this course Mindset Shift and how to flip your motivation switch is because motivation is a switch that can be flipped on once you understand these tenets and the rest of what I'm going to be teaching you. Because motivation, just like happiness, although I cannot control my happiness, I can still be a happy person if I build my life in a way that makes me happy. And that's what we're doing here with motivation. I cannot tell you I'm going to give you wave after wave after wave of big motivation waves. But what I can tell you is that when you live your life in a certain way that promotes bigger waves, that makes you less concerned with low tide days, you will be able to enhance the feeling of motivation that you feel on any given day. And when you are able to do that, you will always feel the motivation that you need. And when you don't, you'll know how to deal with it anyway. So, although we can't actually flip that switch on permanently, we will have enough control of it that we will be able to say, I am a motivated person. I feel motivation and I am in control of it. That is what I want from you, and that is what you're exactly going to learn over the next 6 weeks of this course. Please, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel because this is where I'm releasing a lot of the course materials. Please also comment and let me know with your biggest takeaway from this video. I'll see you on the next one.